year 3 into our cleaning business, we hit $1 million in revenue for the very first time. And it was after years of doing every clean, every sell, and every hire ourselves. Now, $1 million, you think that means you'd be rich. However, some business owners hit that number and realize there's nothing left over.
So the real question isn't whether you can build $1 million cleaning business. It's whether there's anything left over for you when you do. So out of that first million, how much did we actually keep?
More than we ever made when we were the ones who were cleaning, selling, and hiring. And that's due in large part to the predictable profit system, which made sure there was actually money left over for us as owners at the end of every single month.
If you are a residential cleaning business owner who wants to build $1 million business, that does not require you to clean, sell, or hire. So you finally have the freedom to do what you want, when you want, with who you want. The show is for you.
I'm Logan, that was Katie, and we grew our cleaning business from 0 to over $3 million in under 5 years. And today, Katie and I are getting naked financially. And we're going to reveal the number most business owners would never dream of sharing.
How much money is actually left at the end of every single month?
And so we're going to be revealing 3 not so secrets to this predictable profit system.
Let's hear the first secret.
Secret number 1 is the money math playbook. And inside this playbook, cleaning business owners will create a plan for every dollar that goes out before it even comes in. Secret number 2 is the freedom sequence. Money freedom plus time freedom, those are the destinations. However, both are not reached at the same time. Secret number 3 is the personal financial blueprint. This blueprint provides clarity on how to achieve financial security, comfortability, and wealthy.
I am probably a little biased, but this predictable profit system is truly life-changing.
Let's talk about how it changed our lives. So in our very first month in our cleaning business, we made $2,201. Katie was out mopping floors and scrubbing toilets, and I was sitting in the office selling cleans over the phone.
We had 0 systems, and we actually had 0 idea what we were doing.
But it's crazy because every single year after year 1, we did less and less, and the business made more and more.
Year 1, I hired cleaners, so I wasn't the only one who was mopping floors and scrubbing toilets. And then I was finally able to get myself out of the field entirely.
And then once you got yourself out of the field, then what?
I actually came for your seat. I took over selling and hiring, and I kicked you out of the company entirely.
At this point, I actually became a cheerleader for this business. And after year 1, the cleaning business did $141,592 in revenue with a profit of $42,813.
Year 2, I focused on selling more clients and hiring more cleaners, working specifically on the business, not in it.
And the business grew to $367,259 and profited $92,136.
And then it was in year 3 that we actually both decided to go all in.
I committed to coming back into this business full-time, got rid of everything else I was doing, and we hired 2 full-time office people to replace you, Katie, completely.
So by then, neither of us were actually cleaning, selling, or hiring in the business.
And so that was in year 3, the business grew to $1,016,211 in revenue.
On $1 million in revenue, how much did the business actually keep?
$207,901.
More and more money and less work.
I remember even the first time that happened to us, I was like, I just really couldn't believe it. However, now that we've done it a few more times, I realized that it wasn't luck. It's just a system.
And today, we're going to actually pull back the curtain on the predictable, profitable system for you all for the very first time.
Secret number 1 is the money math playbook. And this playbook was developed after we grew this cleaning business to $1 million, not before.
It really only looks simple today because of the mess that it actually took to create it.
And so this playbook creates a plan for every dollar that goes out before it even comes in.
There are 6 different categories that every dollar that comes in is allocated for. Can you share the first category, Logan?
So, category number 1, cleaners. 50% of money coming in goes out directly to cleaner wages. Another 5% goes towards workers' comp, unemployment, federal taxes, and state taxes for the cleaners. So that means a combined 55% of money that comes in goes out for cleaners.
So in $1 million business, that means we pay out $550,000 to our cleaners.
$1 million businesses feed a lot of families.
What is the next category?
Category number 2 is supplies. So these are vacuums, rags, cleaning products. And we allocate 3% of money that comes in to go out for supplies.
So in $1 million business, that's $30,000 a year for supplies. There's a lot of homes that are cleaned.
Category number 3 is marketing. This is marketing for both clients and cleaners. We allocate 5% of money that comes in to go out for marketing.
So 5% of $1 million cleaning business is $50,000 a year we have set aside for marketing.
Category number 4 is office wages. Office wages include virtual assistants, office managers, salespeople, recruiters. These are the people selling new clients and supporting existing clients, and the people who are hiring new cleaners and supporting existing cleaners. And so we allocate 10% of the money that comes in to go out for office wages.
So for $1 million business, that is $100,000 per year that we set aside for office wages.
Do you think we could find some pretty good office people with a budget of $100,000?
I can confirm that we do have some amazing people in our office because of this budget.
Category number 5 is overhead. This includes expenses like rent, internet, utilities, softwares, insurance, laundry. It's really just a catch-all for everything else that doesn't fit in the previous 4 categories. We allocate 7% of money that comes in to go out for overhead.
So on $1 million business, 7% is $70,000 per year allocated to overhead. Is that it?
There's actually one more category. And this category, nearly no one accounts for it. And it's the reason why nearly no one has any money left over at the end of every single month. And so category number 6 is owner's pay. And this is either paid as a salary or distribution. And we allocate 20% of money that comes in to go out for owner's pay.
And on $1 million business, that's $200,000 per year to make sure that the time, the effort, and the risk of being in business is worth it.
So true. So 55% for cleaner wages, 3% for supplies, 5% for marketing, 10% for office staff, 7% for overhead, and 20% for owner's pay. And that adds up to 100% certainty that we as owners have money left over at the end of every single month.
Okay, so Logan, are these the numbers cleaning business owners should look at right now?
Unless your business is already at or over $83,000 a month, no. These percentages are the destination. Your numbers, when your revenue is smaller, will look much different.
Don't force the percentages. Use them as the target that you're actually moving towards.
And you won't grow $1 million business on accident, and you won't take home money at the end of the month on accident either. And so this money math playbook, it helps you ensure you actually take money home on purpose.
So what is the not so secret number 2 of the predictable profitable system?
So secret number 2 is the freedom sequence.
When we started, I was working 60 plus hour weeks, making less than $15 per hour. And this is when my ego convinced me to quit. I was working hard for way too little of pay.
But what kept us in the business was the goal was never to work for money. The goal was to build an asset that was able to run without us working in it.
So year 2, our systems for getting clients and cleaners improved. I was still working 60 hours per week, but my hourly rate actually went from about $15 an hour to $44 an hour.
Now you're rich.
No, now I just had money to start buying back my time. So year 3, with your help, we hired office staff and replaced myself from operations completely.
Yeah. And here's the part that it broke my brain. But from year 1 to year 3, our profit percentage actually went down. Year 1 was 35%, year 3 was 20%.
But our take home pay went from 42,000 in year 1 to 207,000 in year 3.
We really took the money that we made and we bought people and processes, which really bought us time, which allowed us to start even more businesses.
That is the sequence. You do not get financial freedom and time freedom at the same time. You get the money first, and then you start buying back your time.
Make money, reinvest it in people and processes, do it again. That's how you end up with both.
And when you finally have both, you create a new problem. What do I do with all this cash and time on my hands?
Shopping, duh.
Funny. So, Logan, what is the not so secret number 3 of the predictable profit system?
Secret number 3 is the personal financial blueprint. This is what protects your excess cash from shopping.
Because it's one thing to achieve freedom, but the most important thing is actually keeping it. So, how do we keep it from going out in shopping carts?
Let me answer that with a story here. So, Katie, when you and I met, what did you think of me?
Honestly, I thought you were rich
Why?
because you had a beautiful black pickup, you had a business. To me, you looked rich.
The reality was I had about 10 grand in cash that was hidden under my mattress in a Crown Royal bag. That beautiful black truck, I owed what it was worth, so no equity. And I had about $30,000 in debt. And so, Katie, will you define what net worth is?
Net worth is what you actually own minus what you owe.
What was my net worth then?
So 10 grand in cash under the mattress minus 30 grand of debt means that your net worth when I met you was negative $20,000.
Pretty rich, eh? And it really was my ego that made me want to look rich while at the time not being rich.
So what changed?
Vulnerability, to come to terms with the fact that I was not rich and I didn't know what I was doing, and I needed to have a plan to figure out how to actually become rich.
So this birthed our personal financial plan. And we got this personal financial plan from Robert Kiyosaki, who is the author of the Rich Dad, Poor Dad book, the number 1 personal finance book of all time. And there's actually 3 financial plans. We've been following them for years, and they have entirely changed our lives.
Let's start with the financial plan number 1, which is the plan for security. I define security as the ability to cover unexpected expenses without going negative. And so there's 3 levels of security: 6 months of expenses in the bank, 18 months of expenses in the bank, and level 3 is 3 years of expenses in the bank.
A mentor of ours called having 3 years of cash in the bank FU money.
So funny, also so true.
And here's the part it took me a long time to understand. Security actually is not about how much you make. It is the relationship between how much you keep and how much you spend.
Great distinction. Let's talk about financial plan number 2, which is comfortability. I define comfortability as the ability to buy by preference, not price. There are 3 levels of comfortability. Level 1 is having an income twice your personal expenses. Level 2 is having an income 3 times your personal expenses. And then level 3 is having an income 5 times your personal expenses.
Which is really the gap between your earning power and your power to say no to an impulse buy.
It's that gap that allows you to actually invest more into growing your income.
Increasing your income earns you the right to increase your shopping, or in Logan's terms, your personal expenses.
For sure. Let's talk about financial plan number 3, which is wealthy. I define wealthy as the ability to live on what you own, not what you earn. There are 3 levels of wealthy: a net worth greater than 10 years of personal expenses. Level 2 is having a net worth greater than 15 years of personal expenses. And then level 3, wealthy, is having a net worth greater than 25 years of personal expenses.
So from negative 20,000, we had a very long way to go to become wealthy.
I remember it to this day. It was very humbling to see that negative number and see how far we had to go just to even get to level 1 on all 3 financial plans. And as hard as that was, for the ego, the behavior that had to change on how we actually spent money was even harder than that.
It was challenging for me. I had to actually stop the impulse buys.
I had to take what little money we actually had and invest it on things that I thought were going to increase our earning power. Both were risky in their own ways, but it was those decisions that we made many, many years ago that took us from having a negative net worth to having over $1 million in cash and a net worth of $4.7 million.
It doesn't even sound real when you say it in the same breath as where we started.
Doesn't even look real sometimes to me. Very blessed. But I think the thing that is the most fulfilling part of it is having the opportunity to help other cleaning business owners be able to install these financial plans into their business as well. Last year, I had 3 cleaning business owners who let me help them. And the first one was Anna Harris. Her cleaning business has grown from $5,000 a month to over $75,000 a month in the last 3 years. And then last year, we added the financial plans, and she went from being $40,000 in credit card debt with no cash in the bank to her paying off every single dollar credit card debt and banking nearly $100,000 in cash.
That one gets me every time.
That one gets me still. And then another cleaning business owner who let me help them was Renee Krause. And over the last 3 years, been helping her. Her business was doing about $20,000 a month. Now it does over $83,000 a month. And when we started working on this financial plan, she had less than $5,000 in cash in the bank. And now she has over $60,000 in cash, and it continues to rise.
These take my breath away. This is really the power of having $1 million cleaning business, feeding families, serving people with a personal financial plan.
I got one more, and then I'll stop. And then Jessica and Lucas, they're one of the very first few people who let me help them with their cleaning business. I was doing $13,000 a month. And over the last 3 years, they have grown to $120,000 a month. And since installing these personal financial plans, they've been able to bank over $200,000 in cash. And we're able to cross a net worth of over $1 million.
I would say that's life-changing.
Yeah.
Might be underselling this whole system.
I think it's undersold that the only reason they let us help them is because we were able to show proof first. I believe that most people do want to help. The best way you can help is be successful and having the courage to share success and not hide it. So that way people can be inspired and people can actually believe that it is possible.
All right, let me recap the 3 not so secret secrets. First secret is the money math playbook. Every dollar has a plan before it even comes in. 55% to cleaners, 3% to supplies, 5% to marketing, 10% to office staff, 7% for everything else, all the overhead, which leaves 20% for the owner.
Yep.
Secret number 2 is the freedom sequence. Money freedom and time freedom are the destinations. However, you start the journey with neither, and they do not arrive at the same time. And secret number 3, the personal financial blueprint. There are 3 plans that encompass the personal financial blueprint. That is security, comfortability, and wealth. One goal, freedom that lasts.
Spot on.
All right, Logan, how does someone start to implement this predictable profit system?
Put this episode on replay. Literally watch it again, take notes, have a plan for every dollar in your business, and then create a plan for every dollar personally.
If someone wants support implementing this predictable profit system, where do they go?
Home cleaning mentorship.
For people who are not currently in the home cleaning mentorship, how can they get support?
we're currently running a 30-day trial of home cleaning mentorship, which we just call the 30-day install program. And in this program, we actually help cleaning business owners install the systems to build $1 million business that doesn't depend on them to clean, sell, or hire.
And if you want time freedom and money freedom, these systems can help you get that. Go apply.
Click the link in the notes. You can apply on that page, share as much detail about your situation so we can determine if we can actually help you build $1 million business.
Thank you guys for showing up on this Money Monday.
Nobody got into this cleaning business to get wealthy, but the reality is that you can. And so the question is, are you going to take advantage of this opportunity before it's no longer here?